So this week we are looking at the 6 key questions that help you choose your best feature film idea. This is Feature Film in a Year, breaking down the process and busting the myths of making a movie. This week we're looking at how to choose your idea for your next feature film. And we're on to the next question, which is, does it excite you?
Take it away, Andy. Musical.
I think talking about whether the idea really grabs you is so key at this stage as well.
Okay.
Because if the idea doesn't excite you now, at the beginning of the process, then months in, when you're drained and when you're tired and when there's plenty of reasons to quit.
Yeah.
If the idea no longer excites you, well, if it didn't excite you in the first place, it's not going to excite you then.
Okay. No, I find it really curious. Only because, let's say somebody's filmmaking goal is to make a bucket of money. That can lead you into places where maybe the idea doesn't excite you because it's a marketable idea. Would you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I think different filmmakers have different aspirations with what they want to do with their films, but ultimately the thing of excitement is the fire that will keep you going throughout each process, which is often changes, barriers, things coming along, and you having the fire in your heart / belly to continue, from pre-production with script rewrites, redrafts, all those different things. It's something to hold on to. The carrot on the end of the stick, as it were, to keep you going through to the end.
I think it is worth saying, there is something very real about the creative process from start to finish of any creative product. Is there is just that moment where you hit a rut and everything, you just want to give up. Everything goes wrong, and I think you're kind of referring to that, when there's that trudge. There's the toil element, all the fun's gone.
Yeah.
Having an idea that from its seed or its spark really excites you is what gets you through that trudge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So have you guys experienced that with the ideas you're working with for this feature film?
I think over time, actually, time has been quite selective of some of our ideas, because there'll be certain ideas that you come up with in a moment that then disappear off the radar a few weeks or months later.
And it can
another stick.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing is when they stick, because sometimes it depends on what part of life you're at as well, in terms of sometimes, say, I don't know what would be, say if you're having if you're starting a family or so you've got children, or maybe someone just died, or something that happens in your life, it can trigger an idea, or it can link in with an idea that actually gives a new aspect to it, or gives it a clear direction. So as we keep on saying, noting down your ideas, you never know when that's gonna really excite you, during a certain period in your life, or you hear a different story and they can link together. That kind of primary thing of this would be really cool.
Yeah.
I think that helps.
I think it just suggests that you've connected personally with an idea as
Great.
well. Right?
Yeah.
And that's probably what we mean by, does it excite me? Does it actually personally connect? Do I understand something about that situation or that character that kind of that I feel I can really speak into?
I think it's almost like an unwritten rule, actually. This kind of foundation level of does this project excite me? I've never ever watched a behind the scenes on a film, or back in the day DVD, where they were like, I kind of really didn't like working on this project, but kind of had to. They were always pumped, oh, look at this model I made, look at this behind the scenes shot. They were always The Lord of the Rings for me is a favourite. Every single time like somebody's geeking out about something that they're just like, like dragging chains through a cave to make the Balrog noise. So they just love it.
Yeah,
and it just gives them that constant energy to keep running forward. So in terms of the feature film idea that you guys are working on, does it excite you, and what is the idea, and how does it excite you in that way?
I think we're talking about the seed of the idea. The seed of the idea, I think, was coming across this true story of a Japanese officer who carried on holding his kind of post way after the Second World War had ended.
No way.
He was told not to surrender, and he was told not to commit suicide. So he carried on this fairly remote island, and only surrendered in 1974. So the idea
Seriously?
of this, so it's a genuine true story, and
that's ridiculous.
It is bonkers, and there's something in that kind of crazy, you couldn't make it up sort of scenario. This, to be honest, what captures me is not so much the setting or the idea of retelling a true story, blow for blow. Yeah. But the idea of a character, of someone who is, for whatever reason, so committed to their station, to their post, to kind of holding their position, that whatever happens, they're just gonna crack on, and they're gonna do it, even to the point of all the evidence around them suggesting something different.
Wow.
So it's that, I guess it's that idea of someone who's so obsessed with something that they're blind to things around them that maybe suggest otherwise.
Cool.
It's definitely
great.
good kind of good dramatic tension in that.
So that's a kind of in terms of inspiration, in terms of we were talking about different ideas, themes, making notes of stories as things as you kind of live your everyday life. You read things in newspaper, online. That's a kind of, that true story is a clear sort of inspiration or a kind of the themes within that are going to feed into it. So as Andy said, it's not a real life retelling, but it's an element of something that is really interesting in terms of the character, the scenario that will feed into our idea.
So I think that's really key. So it's not the final project hasn't come about yet, but the seed is very much like exciting and inspiring. Like, I think this is going to be what grows into something very special, and this idea of this guy that's just so like doggedly obsessed about something.
And I think it's already in our minds sprouted, to use the metaphor. It's already sprouted lots of kind of spin-off ideas that I think it's fair to say we've got us both kind of excited about the potential that's there.
Yeah.
Great.
And then both things that we can kind of both feed into in terms of probably separate things excite us about the potential within that story, but that's a good thing, because that initial seed or spark is there, and then that leads on to other things and helps you, know, during this kind of the writing process.
Cool.
Development.